There is a story the world has been telling for over 100 years. A grieving widow, a psychic medium, a curse whispered across a dimly lit room. Build the house, never stop building, or the spirits will find you. It became a legend, a tourist attraction, a Hollywood film, and almost every single part of it was a lie. My name is Demi, this is Global Paradox, and the detail the human eye ignores is not the house, it is the woman they buried inside the legend. Tonight we go deeper than the ghost stories. Tonight we find Sarah Winchester. Here is the version of the story you have already heard. Sarah Winchester, wife of William Winchester, heir to the most famous rifle company in American history, suffered loss after loss. Her infant daughter, her husband, her sanity. Consumed by grief, she visited a psychic medium who delivered a terrifying message. The spirits of everyone killed by a Winchester rifle were coming for her. The only escape: build a house so labyrinthine, so deliberately confusing that no spirit could ever find its way through it. And so she built. For 38 years without stopping, staircases climbing into ceilings, doors opening onto 30-foot drops, chimneys sealed at the top, windows facing walls, a maze designed not for the living. That is the legend, but here is what historians quietly discovered once they actually looked at the evidence. There was no psychic medium, there were no seances, there is not a single verified document confirming any of it. The legend was born in a newspaper article, published in 1895, written by a journalist who had never once spoken to Sarah Winchester. And Sarah, who had lived through more grief than most people could survive, never once bothered to correct it. That silence was not guilt, that silence was dignity. Sarah Lockwood Pardee was born in 1839 in New Haven, Connecticut. Her father was a carpenter. From childhood, she absorbed his passion for design, for structure, for the quiet satisfaction of building something with your hands. She was brilliant. She spoke 6 languages. And when William Winchester, whose family were neighbors, asked her to marry him in 1862, she said yes. But death followed them from the very beginning. William's sister died in childbirth. The infant died. Her 2-year-old nephew died. Then in 1866, Sarah gave birth to her own daughter, a girl she named Annie. The baby suffered from a rare condition and died of starvation 1 month later. William and Sarah retreated into each other, into architecture, into the quiet work of building their home on Prospect Hill. But the grief never fully left. In 1880, Sarah's mother died, then her father-in-law. Then in March of 1881, William himself, tuberculosis. Slow and without mercy, Sarah inherited $20 million, half ownership of a rifle company generating $1,000 a day. And absolutely nothing she actually wanted. In 1884, Sarah's doctor delivered a simple instruction. Her rheumatoid arthritis had become so severe that she needed a warmer, drier climate. California. That same year, her elder sister Mary died. Sarah had nothing left to hold her in Connecticut. She remembered visiting San Francisco with William years before. She traveled west, found a large farmhouse sitting on 45 acres in San Jose, and bought it immediately. And then she did what she had always done when grief became unbearable. She built, not because a medium told her to, not because spirits were chasing her through the halls. She built because building was the only language she had left for everything she could not say out loud. She hired craftsmen of various nationalities. She dismissed architects who couldn't match her vision, and designed the expansions herself. She added a 3rd floor, then a 4th, then a 5th. She attended architectural exhibitions. She experimented with styles from across the world. She called her home Lanada Villa because the surrounding landscape reminded her of a place she had visited in Spain with William. She was not building a ghost trap. She was building a monument to the life she had lost. For 20 years, Lanada Villa grew, room by room, wing by wing. Each edition a reflection of Sarah's evolving taste and restless creativity. And then on April 18, 1906, the ground moved. The Great San Francisco earthquake measured an estimated 7.9. It leveled the region, and it nearly destroyed everything Sarah had spent 2 decades building. The 7-story central tower collapsed. The 4th and 5th floors crumbled. Plaster walls cracked and fell away. Chimneys toppled across the house, and workers simply sealed them where they fell. Sarah arrived to find her life's work in ruins. She was 67 years old, exhausted, heartbroken, but she did not start over. Instead, she instructed her workers to repair the damages and seal the openings. And here, right here, is where the legend was born from reality. The staircases that lead nowhere. They once led to sections of the house the earthquake destroyed. The doors that open onto 30-foot drops. They once opened onto balconies that collapsed. The sealed chimneys, toppled in the earthquake, sealed where they fell. The confusing corridors, wings of the house built at different levels over 20 years of gradual expansion. There was no blueprint because she never needed one. She was the architect. She built the way artists paint, intuitively, emotionally, one section at a time. The house wasn't a maze built for spirits. It was a life's work that an earthquake tried to erase. The world never knew the real Sarah Winchester because Sarah never told them. She was a philanthropist who donated anonymously, including to the victims of the very earthquake that broke her home. An advocate for women's suffrage, a defender of animal rights, a woman who supported her entire extended family for the rest of her life without ever asking for recognition. She owned multiple properties across the Bay Area. She had a houseboat. She dreamed of building a series of coastal estates. She was not a recluse driven mad by guilt. She was a private woman who had lost everything she loved and chose to spend the rest of her life building, giving, and quietly refusing to explain herself to people who had already decided who she was. She died on September 5, 1922, aged 83, peacefully. Construction stopped that morning, not because the spirits were finally satisfied, but because the woman who gave the workers purpose was gone. Today, Lanada Villa stands in San Jose as the Winchester Mystery House. Tourists walk its corridors and hear the legend of the haunted widow. The ghost stories sell tickets, but somewhere underneath all of it, in the shallow staircases built for arthritic knees, in the sealed chimneys left standing after the earthquake, in the rooms added one by a woman who simply loved to build, the real Sarah Winchester is still there, waiting for someone to finally look past the legend. The detail the human eye ignores is never the ghost. It is always the person the ghost story was built to replace. I am Demi, and this has been Global Paradox. Stay curious, stay suspicious, and never ignore the detail.